The importance of this episode was really to address the ability to ensure you are mastering resilience and thriving through challenging times, because I understand we are in challenging times and it's up to us to want to make a difference. It's up to us to understand that nothing lasts forever. It's up to us to make a decision to say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to actually do something about it, going from victim to victor and enjoying the victory celebration. Ever feel like life is throwing everything at you? And I do mean everything. And you can barely duck, dodge punches? Dive into an ultimate resilient toolkit where we turn obstacles into, watch this, stepping stones for growth, making you unforgettable as well as unstoppable. If you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all my smart and intelligent people out there, it just simply means, Ed, I have an 8-point framework, and these 8 points, my goal, my mission, my job is to unpack today's title, which is entitled Mastering Resilience, Thriving Through Challenges. Let me say that again. Mastering Resilience, Thriving Through Challenges. You know, one thing I've understood, I heard a quote today, and I don't know who the person is, so whoever it is, please forgive me. But one thing I've heard today was, evidence is the loudest voice. You see, evidence is the loudest voice, and sometimes we forget about the evidence. What do you mean, ED? Well, see, evidence is the stories that have been told or we tell ourselves. You see, you're going through something and now you're trying to figure out if you're going to make it. You are experiencing something and now you're trying to figure out if you're going to make it. Well, if you don't mind, can we look back in your life and see how when you were in that same situation, maybe not the same context as far as what is happening to you, but you made it through. See, the key word is, or I should say words, is making it through. You know, family, I remember when I had the genius idea. I said, you know what, I want to go and get my motorcycle license. So I went and applied to go through the class. So first part was the written portion. Okay, made it through by only, if I would have got one more wrong, I was done. Made it through there. Then the next portion was on the track portion where you're riding the motorcycle. Now, family, I don't know what you do or don't know about me, but I stand at 6 feet and 5 inches. I'm 6'5", and the bikes that we were on were so small that my knees was literally in my stomach. And the guy, the trainer said, "Ooh, man," he said, I'm sorry. He said, "You're going to have some challenges out here on the course." And sure enough, I had every challenge that he probably named. And as we were getting near to the end of the course, the final day, he pulls me to a side and he says, "Hey, Edward, I really appreciate your resilience of having the ability to go against it at all odds." He said, "Unfortunately, you didn't make it through. But one thing I want to tell you is I admire what you did as far as still sticking with it." He said, "You can leave right now or you can continue on." He said, "But unfortunately, you're not going to get your license today." And at first, when I heard him say that, I was devastated. I'm just going to be honest with you, family. I'm human. I was devastated because of the fact that I gave up my weekend for this, and I gave up a couple of days, I think, during the weekend. I was just frustrated because I was like, I don't understand why. I was already at a disadvantage. These bikes were too small, and I caught myself. I said, no. We're not going to go down this pity potty. We're not going to go down this victim road. It is what it is. What are you going to do about it? So I realized that I'm going to have to start from scratch and take this test over. Why do I share this story with you? I share this story with you, family, is because a lot of times in life, we forget that life happens. And when life happens, we have to understand how to be resilient. So let's get into point number 1, seeking meaning in adversity. Listen, the lesson I shared with you regarding the motorcycle, me trying to get my motorcycle's lesson, the purpose of that lesson was it taught me about how I was already at a disadvantage. And and I already knew that it wasn't going to go the way that I wanted it to go. Even though I'm the most positive person, I try to be the most positive person and not think negative, because it's easier to think negative than it is to think positive. But I was still a realist and said, hey, I still got to finish this. I started with you guys. I'm going to end regardless of whatever the outcome is, because the experience really allowed me to see what I need to work on. And see, a lot of times, family, we forget that experiences allow us to see what we have to work on. Matter of fact, I know you've heard this cliche, this setback is a setup for something amazing. And so sometimes we just need to reflect on what we learn from our experience and how we can change it and contribute to our personal growth the next time. Family, I really appreciate you locking in with me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to continue to bring you more content. In order to do that, hit the like button and subscribe button so the algorithm can know that you rock with me a little bit. All right, let's move on to point number 2. Building a resilient buddy system. Hey, you remember I shared with you in yesterday's video where I talked about having advisors. I told you Phil was one of my advisors and Byron was one of my advisors. But there's also, I also have a resilient buddy. And the resilient buddy is someone that really is a support system for you. And they really create a safe space for you to watch this, family, vent, seek advice, and then celebrate the victory. See, I think sometimes we get caught up about personal development and being positive that when life hits us in the stomach, or as Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And so when we get punched in the mouth and now we're at a space and we have to figure this out, sometimes we just need to vent, like how frustrated we is and how we can't believe this happened and why did this have to happen to me? And after we do all of that, after we get that out our system, because you need to get it out your system, now, as the ego would say, what are you going to do about it? And so now that's the point where that resilient buddy, after they let you vent, after they let you keep going on and on and on, now you ask for advice. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think I should do? And then at that point, you already start celebrating your victories, because now you know you have a plan of attack to attack the thing. Point number 3, this is one of my favorite. Message: done is better than perfect. I want you guys to carry that mantra. Done is better than perfect. I know there are certain situations you do have to have perfection, but let's be honest with you, family. You're going to learn more from just getting it done and then continue to reiterate what you learned from the previous situation. So perfection sometimes is a crippler. Why does it cripple people? Because they're so nervous of even getting started, because they don't believe it's going to be perfect, because then they start doing a comparison model. A comparison model looks like, oh, I see you doing this and I want to do it, but I'm not like you. Of course, reason why we're not the same, because you have a different gift. You have a different skill set that the world truly needs. So instead of just focusing on trying to be perfect, get started. When you get started, you have an opportunity that most people won't take advantage of. You have an opportunity to walk into the greatness that you've been blessed with. So, family, focus on getting started. Here's a tip. I'm going to help you with this, because this is one of my favorite. I had to learn this too the hard way, because I was such a perfectionist. Like, I wanted all the T's and I's to be, crossed appropriately. But I learned it was hindering me in a sense, because I wasn't moving forward. I was just getting stuck, or I was just running around in a circle. So here's a tip. Set realistic deadlines instead of aiming for unattainable perfection. And then focus on completing the task to a reasonable standard rather than obsessing over every detail. Listen, I tell you, family, I obsessed over every detail to the point where then I wouldn't even put out the video, or I wouldn't even put out the article, or I wouldn't even put out this thing here, this book, because I was obsessed with all the details instead of saying, hey, this is how you get better. Yes, people are going to critique you. Yes, people are going to have their own opinions. However, I'm further than where I was, and I'm better than I am when I was at that place the other day, if that makes any sense. Let's move on to point number 4. Building healthy boundaries, the power of not now. family, if you're an overachiever, meaning you're somebody, or I shouldn't even say an overachiever, if you're somebody that is always wanting to help, if you're somebody that you live a selfless life, what that means is basically you're always there to contribute. You're always there to collaborate. There's certain points though, family, you have to understand that you need to focus on you. You need to take care of some of the things that you need to do, the things that you made a commitment to complete. Because if you don't, then you're going to be further behind, and you need to learn how to protect that energy. There's many times that, I've been in situations where I was like, man, I probably should have said no, because it's setting back these other things that I already have in motion, or basically you're taking on so much and now you just feel so stressed out because of the fact that you're burnt out, because you're trying to be everything to everybody else except taking care of you first, so you can be a beacon or be assistance to everyone else. Here's a tip: practice assertive communication. Communicate your boundaries politely but firmly. Suggest an alternative time if appropriate. Like, for instance, if you're swamped, say, hey, I'm swamped right now. Would you mind connecting, and give a date and time? Hey, can we connect next week, Wednesday around 2 o'clock? Would that work for you? Of course, because somebody needs something from you. So don't put yourself don't get in a position where you're so stressed out that you can't even focus on you. I always say, that's why I love this. That's why I love the cliche, in a sense, where when you're on the airplane, they always tell you put the mask on you first. The general reason why is so you can help someone else. So family, first help yourself so you can be the person that can contribute and collaborate with everyone else. But you first have to help yourself so you can be your best version when you're helping that person. Stop going into situations where you're feeling burnt out and you're already exhausted and you're trying to help someone else. I don't even think, now that we're talking about this, I don't even think it's fair to the person you're assisting, because you're not giving your best version of yourself. You're giving a substandard, and that's not fair to the person that is entrusting you with the assistance that they need. Point number 5. This is a touchy one. I know what I'm about to say. Embrace vulnerability. Listen, acknowledging your vulnerabilities can be a strength. Some people looked at it as a weakness. No, 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 no. It is a strength. Fostering connections with others and allowing you to really seek help when needed. Here's a tip I want to say, family, and you have to be, again, in a safe place. Remember that being vulnerable does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. That's the tip. I mean, because a lot of times, family, we want to be Superman. We want to be Batman. We want to be all these superheroes, and yet we have to understand that these are superheroes. We are human. So we have to start from a human perspective. Point number 6, develop emotional agility. Get that. Bounce back. I don't know why I did that. It just felt good. Develop emotional agility, meaning bounce back faster. Emotional agility allows you to acknowledge and accept emotions without getting stuck in them. How many times have you got stuck in an emotion that prevented you from moving forward? Okay, you don't like that. How many times have you got stuck in an emotion that allowed you to cut off people that really want to be there for you in a safe place, to collaborate with you, to help you through whatever that thing is you're dealing with, whatever that thing you're going through? How many times have you got stuck in that place? Let me tell you this, family. Here's the tip. Label your emotions without judgment. Say, hey, I'm feeling frustrated, instead of this is frustrating. No, be honest with yourself. You're feeling frustrated. Now, the question is, what are you going to do about it? And connect with your resilient buddy or your board of advisors, like I recommend. Point number 7, implement stress management techniques. Listen, effective stress management techniques prevent challenges, as well as you feeling overwhelmed. More than you feeling overwhelmed is the thing. One of the things is that when you look at it, I'm over here sweating for you, family. I mean, we getting this work in today, because this is a very touchy topic. This is a topic that I know a lot of people deal with. I've dealt with it. I will continue to deal with it as long as I'm living on this earth. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving my all for this particular topic. So if you see me sweating here, this is a real thing. So anyway, actionable steps to address this: identify stress reducing activities that work for you. Now, of course, some stress examples would be exercising, doing meditation, finding a hobby. If you like to paint or whatever that thing is, find something that you could do that will help you with the stress that you're doing, and be proactive with it. By sometimes you can anticipate when you're about to experience a potential stressor, and sometimes you can't. So when it comes, figure out an outlet. That's what I'm trying to say to you, family. Point number 8, prioritize continuous learning. One of the things here, family, if you're following me, if you're following this channel, one of the things you need to understand and you need to know, I am a lifelong learner, meaning that I am someone that really truly wants to pick up the book and have picked up the book and will read the book and implement what it says in the book, or watch this, experiment what it says in the book to see if it's a fit for me. I will recommend dedicating time each week to learning something new or existing that you need to just brush back up on. One of the things I do every morning, I started back doing that again, is going over my 49 processes. And I would literally type these out of going the 49 processes. Why do I do that? Is because I want to make sure that is one of the most important documents to do of going over your 49 processes, because it really teaches you how you can, from a theory standpoint, as well as real life, of leading an actual project. Here's one of my first bonuses: managing time effectively. How many times have we got caught up in someone giving us a call and we were working on something, and instead of putting our phone in do not disturb or not even answering the phone, we pick up the phone and then we get caught up in a conversation, and then we look up and we like, man, we done spent an hour or 2 hours on this phone when we could have just called the person back after we finished doing and executing on the thing that we said that we needed to do. So one of the things and I always give this recommendation is when I'm working on something, I put my phone in do not disturb. If it's that important, I don't know, send a pigeon my way or something like that. But seriously though, family, I put my phone in do not disturb so I can have that deep focus on the thing that I am focusing on. All right, family, here's my 3 closing remarks. And I want to be clear about these closing remarks, because the very first one I'm going to start with, I know a lot of people struggle with it, because I've struggled with it. Not saying that everyone is like me, but I've watched it when I've coached and I met with people, that done is better than perfect. I want you to say that with me. Done is better than perfect. Again, perfectionism can be crippling. Focusing on good enough allows progress and builds momentum. It's okay for things to be less than perfect, especially during difficult times. So being able to have the ability to go back and readjust. I'm not saying you shouldn't cross all your T's and dot your I's. What I'm saying is we need to continue that momentum. We need to build from that and learn from that. Point number 2, building healthy boundaries, the power of not now. Listen, saying no protects your time and energy. And again, like I said, if you don't do that, family, it's not fair to the person that is asking something of you, because you're only showing up. You're not showing up fully energized. You're not showing up your best version. And do you think it's fair to that person that is needing your assistance? I don't think it is. And point number 3, prioritize your continuous learning. Again, lifelong learner enhances your resilience by ensuring you're always acquiring new tools and insights to navigate challenges. Family, I really truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. See, the importance of this episode was really to address the ability to ensure you are mastering resilience and thriving through challenging times, because I understand we are in challenging times, and it's up to us to want to make a difference. It's up to us to understand that nothing lasts forever. It's up to us to make a decision to say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to actually do something about it, going from victim to victor and enjoying the victory celebration on your way. This has been your boy ED. Until next time, I'm out.